Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, as we're going through Colossians now, we're going through the book of Colossians, and I've said this over and over again. Hopefully, you really get the message. As we go through the book of Colossians, the first two chapters deal with the practicality of knowing God and our relationship with God. You have to understand that first before you jump into the last two chapters. The last two chapters deal with the practical of how I relate to others as a Christian, how I relate to people in the church as a Christian. We talked about the past 2 days, how I relate to my parents and how I relate as to my children. Okay, in the next 2 days here, today and tomorrow, we're going to talk about the relationship between workers and their bosses. Okay, and that all plays in together. It all fits together because all these pieces are tied together in how we are as Christians. Okay, so let's read here today. This is it's entitled today, "Being a Great Worker," and it's taken from Colossians chapter 3, verses 22 to 25. So we'll actually finish up chapter 3 today, and this is being a great worker. It says this: "Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything." Okay, when it says slaves, primarily most of the Roman Empire at that time, a huge portion of it, if you go and look at the history, a huge portion of that was slaves. Okay, very few like paid employees. They were mostly slaves. All right, so today we could equate it, we still have slavery going on today, but not as much. But you could equate it to being an employee. All right, so don't exclude yourself from this because you think, oh, I'm not a slave. It's also included for you because you're an employee. All right, so it says, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, and do it not only when their eye is on you and to curry their favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord." Okay, so this goes back to back when, or early on when I was in college, I would do construction between semesters, and when we had some guys that they just didn't like to work a whole lot, and so what would happen is the boss would come around and they would be, carrying block like there was no tomorrow, carrying block and mixing mud and everything. They were on like their best behavior. They were putting on a really good show of to how great a worker they were. When the boss left and he went to take a break, or he went to pick up some materials or whatever, he was gone. Those guys would sit around, take extra long breaks, move like 10 times slower than they were moving when the boss was there. All that. And so it goes back to this, like, do everything as best you can, even when the boss isn't there. All right. So let's keep reading here. Verse 23, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." All right. So he's saying here, you keep working and you do the best you can, because it's not that boss that you're serving, it's the Lord that you're serving, and he's always watching. All right. So work as you would be working for the Lord. Verse 25, "Anyone who does wrong will be repaid for their wrongs, and there is no favoritism." The bottom line here is this: that as a Christian, we're called to be great employees. And so we do that by not having different standards if the boss is there or not there. And as far as honesty goes, we're honest all the time, not like, oh, the boss isn't here, so let's not be honest about things. All that, we are to be working for our bosses as though we were working for the Lord. So I'm in a home cleaning, and Mrs. Jones goes away, so I lay down and take a nap. No, that's wrong, because I need to be working as if I'm working for the Lord. And if the Lord Jesus was sitting there, would I be laying down taking a nap while I should be cleaning? No, I need to be cleaning and just like the Lord is there. So ultimately, I'm not working for Mrs. Jones. I'm working for the Lord. All right. So we need to be doing our best, and it's just it's a natural outflow of my Christian walk that I'm just a great employee, because I'm serving not only that person, but I'm serving the Lord. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. I am a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue this discussion about employees and bosses in Colossians. Lord's blessing. I'll see you tomorrow.